Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's Mystic Minute is, do affirmations really work? Good question. Boys and girls, do affirmations really work? So affirmations are, you take a sentence that is positive, that is affirming, and you repeat it over and over again. And it's supposed to bring about the thing that you are affirming. Now, when you're doing the secret and you're doing all the things in the secret, it's affirmations kind of go hand in hand with that. And the answer is yes, sometimes they do work, and no, sometimes they don't work. Where they don't work is when you are repeating them over and 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 over with a lot of effort. You're putting a lot of effort in it. And what effort does is it blocks your creativity as consciousness. It stops things from happening. It's a body level of energy that works if you're trying to push start a car that has a manual transmission. I don't think you can push starts automatics. Could be wrong about that. So it doesn't work if you're using a lot of effort. It doesn't work if it's so far reaching that it is no shred of truth for you. You have a negative reaction to it. You're doing it out of resistance. You're doing it because, you hope it's going to work. All those things are going to just thwart the use of affirmations. Where affirmations work is when you feel uplifted by them, you feel lighthearted, they open up new possibilities. You're doing it with a sense of clarity. I'd use the word amusement because as consciousness, we're always amused. Playful. Playful is a better word. Doing it with a sense of playfulness. It opens you up to a new possibility. That's when they work. What affirmations do on a physical level is they rewrite the hamster wheel in your brain. They tell a different story. Your negative thoughts actually create negative neural pathways. They create ruts in your brain. And then your electrical impulses and your thoughts just naturally go along those negative habits. When you're doing affirming sentences, affirming thoughts, it rewires your brain. It changes your brain chemistry, actually, and builds upon the next thing, builds upon the next thing. It relieves you of depression, and it helps set into motion that thoughts become things aspect of manifestation. Thoughts become things in that you've got this idea that's out here, and how do you give it density? How do you give it weight? You give it weight and density by focus. How do you give it focus? You can give it focus by repeating it as an affirmation. And it can bring it into form. It can bring it into form that way. There's a great story by Mark Allen, who wrote the Type Z Guide to Success and several other books as well. And he tells a story of transforming his life from, a lazy ass under-earning musician to having $1 million and being the head of this very well-known publishing house. And he used affirmations to help shift his mindset. I think the one that was effective that he used was in an easy and effortless way. Because he's a Type Z kind of guy. He's not going to do it in a Type A way of doing it. And by using affirmations, he was able to design the life that he loves to live, that is wealthy and abundant in its own way, and to the schedule that works for him. And he did it with, amongst other things, he did it with affirmations. From a consciousness perspective, it can work in that it's helping you step into new states of being. It's helping you to step into new possibilities, into new parallel universes that take you in the direction that you want to go. It can also create instantaneous change in a very powerful way by erasing or deleting the negative thoughts, the negative states that you've been existing in before. And the caution is when you repeat anything, you are kind of solidifying it. And I did talk about you do want to bring it into form, but there's another thing about solidifying it as a dream, solidifying it as a wish, solidifying it in that kind of incomplete state. When you're working as consciousness, you are working from the higher aspect of yourself, which includes all possibilities, including ones you haven't thought of before. So, on one hand, we want to be specific, and like with affirmations, it helps to be specific. Say specifically what you want, state what you want, and then on the other hand, have a door open for something bigger and better to occur. Standard statement used to be, this or something better is now occurring. Stating it in the present moment, stating it as an actual fact. Use of language is really important in affirmations. Instead of, I want to have a house, I'm going to be, I am a Hay House published author traveling the world giving talks and workshops. I have 10 acres of high bank waterfront. Or whatever you're manifesting in your life, state it as a solid and real thing. And then you can give it a little push as consciousness by knowing that you're stating it and you're stepping into, let yourself physically step into that reality. You have shifted your circumstances, shifted your state, stepped into that reality. So with any of this work, it's useful to notice your language, notice the way that you're putting it out. If there's any negativity, if there's any limitations, that's not coming from consciousness. That's not coming from the higher aspect of yourself. That's coming from the little gremlin voice, negative left side of your brain cluster of cells that inserts little tripwires into your creations. Any doubt will end up getting magnified and created. Just why it's helpful to do it from a more amused space, a more neutral space, a curious space, a playful space, an open to all outcomes kind of space as you're doing this exercise. And it can result in you having more than you thought you were going to manifest, something bigger and better than you thought was possible. So here's the thing. We are here to create our reality. The whole reason we are here is to create in this reality. It's our purpose to manifest. It's our purpose to create. What are you creating? How are you creating it? Now, from the perspective of consciousness, there is no good or bad. If you're creating tremendous disasters and drama, that's a creation as well. There's no difference to consciousness if you are creating a soap opera or you're creating a Shakespeare play. The difference is how comfortable is it to you and how much are you enjoying it. And one other thing that makes affirmations useful is they can drive out the negative chatter in your brain. They can drown out the hamster wheel voice that goes off at 4 o'clock in the morning that just spews nothing but resentments or doom and gloom, or I'm going to tell Oprah and Ellen about all these terrible things that have happened. You can just replace that with your affirmation, and it can help totally quiet that voice down, clear it out. You're actually rewriting the script when you do that. Gives your brain something else to do that's much more positive and productive at 4 o'clock in the morning than plotting ways to kill your ex. Now, this meanders a little bit into the area of prayer or chanting. Prayers and chants are very powerful affirmations. They have a whole morphic field attached to them. They have lots and lots of people saying the same things. So it has a lot of collective energy. And it's also a useful way to replace the negative voices in the middle of the night. And it operates along some of the similar principles about successful affirmations. The thing is that when you recite a prayer or a chant, you are stepping into the collective energy rather than the individual creation that you want to make. So if you're using affirmations specifically to manifest things in your life, your soulmate, your ideal job, whatever you want to create on that level, writing your own affirmation, putting it in your own words, has a lot more strength for you creating your reality. So play with this for the next few days and see how it works for you. See how it transforms your life. And if you like these videos, you can subscribe to them on YouTube. You can also sign up below to get them in your inbox. If you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. I put out a weekly blog and e-zine. I also put out a weekly podcast and radio show. I do meetups around the Puget Sound. I put out a weekly webinar. And I also have individual and group coaching programs to help people transform their lives in a matter of weeks and rediscover their purpose and their passion. So if you want to know more, go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you with another Mystic Minute in a couple of days.